Can you hear us? Don't be dicks about this. This is like session one. I want to make sure that all the tech stuff is out the way. So I need someone I trust, like Artemis, telling us whether you can hear me or not. My mic is going off on Streamlabs, but don't be dicks.
Gonna do that enough for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Because I don't have my usual functionality. In Streamlabs, yeah, they've all gone silent. Okay, thanks. Yeah, finally. Someone can actually hear me. Great. Alright, folks. We are finally here. We are finally here at session 1 of A Song of Crystal and Shadow, chapter 1. Because why not? A calamitous rebirth. So we should probably all give ourselves and all of you a round of applause. And something has messed up my thing. Let me.
I wouldn't. It's session 1. Always how it goes, right?
There. Yep. As always, session 1. Right. I do have to read some fun stuff from Avi. I'm hoping this does not mess this up too much. Yes, it does, because I made a huge mistake. But it's okay, I'll do this quickly. We should introduce ourselves first. Haha. I should have popped this out. But I'm tired and I've been working on tech things all day for this. So let's introduce ourselves before I start going through the announcements. Let's start with me. Do I say who I am in game, or do I say who I am out of game? Both. I'm Sophia. I am the lovely trans DM of this group of adventurers. I'm their guiding light, their Heidelin. Not their Zodiac. Fuck Zodiac. I go by Shiha. And yeah, it's my job to guide these lovelies through Eorzea. If you can hear a cat meowing, it's Donna, my void pantheress, swirling around my legs because she wants attention and she is singing the song of her people. Let's go with Pure next. And just while we're at it, I'm going to do these because my babysitter's not doing it for me, or they're not working.
Hi, I'm Pure. My pronouns are they, them. I'm going to be playing a Kemi in Aura with a bit of a quirk.
And right on time, look who came to join us. Next up, Duality, if you want to introduce yourself.
Ew, I am Duality of Chaos, pronouns they, them. I play Gishigal Ozuda, the Makote dancer with a bit of a drinking problem.
Okay, and then Ink, you're up.
I'm Incubus. I go by he, them. I'm playing Crayon, who has a bit of an attitude problem.
I mean, you are a Reaper. And last but certainly not least, that leaves us with Link.
Hi, I'm Link. They, them, or any pronouns are fine. And I'm going to be playing Cherry, which is a Viera blue mage.
Yeah, we have our spell slinger stealing spells. Eventually we'll get bad breath and things go to hell. Everyone will start getting status effects. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a few quick announcements. First of all, if you look in the bottom, I'm sorry, I'm going to try and work around this feline, but she is very needy tonight. She's anxious, bless her. It's just me and her in the house. So, yep, okay. So now she's showing me her butt. Of course, why not? And I'm losing limbs because I am cuddling this cat. Oi! Don't yell at me. Donna. Your people, your adoring fans wish to say hello to you. While she's like giving you all the evils, our sponsor for tonight, if you look in the bottom left corner, is Canadian Dice. If you go to canadiandice.ca and you put in the code THEVACTER, or one word, you can get 10% off. Yeah, off some wicked dice. Maggie's dice pick of the week is the. I saw this earlier. I swear, I'm professional. I think it's like Irish Spring dice because it's St. Paddy's month, so it's March. Yeah, it's the Irish Spring It's the Irish Spring dice. It's Maggie's pick. If you want to go look at them, I'm pretty sure that some of Jer's old men rolling dice, the metal limited edition ones, they've got a couple sets of them left. If you like throwing metal dice at people.
Who doesn't like throwing metal dice at people?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're already being derailed by a cat. Okay. Scheduling for the rest of the week. So let's see, tomorrow's Friday. Fridays is Fixius 5 with Artemis, who's our babysitter tonight. Self-proclaimed babysitter. She said it, not me. Artemis is DMing that along with Affy and the crew. I don't know what they're doing tomorrow. Oh, I do know what they're doing tomorrow. Unless I've been talking about it, or I've been listening. Y'all are fucked. That's what I'm going to say. Y'all are fucked. On Saturday, at about 11:30ish, it's Together Among the Stars with Rick. And this week, yours truly. I'm trying to point at myself, but I need green screen. Someone give me a green screen. Yours truly will be tomorrow Together Among the Stars with Rick. Sunday is Legacy of Fire. You'll see Affy and Artemis over there with Jeremy and the crew. That's also about. No ADHD here. See, you're distracting me. Silence. Sunday night is that? Hello, Donna. Yes, please grace me with your butt. Anyway, Legacy of Fire is on Sundays, Sunday evenings. Monday is Mistwalkers with Affy as a DM. Artemis will be there. Cedar, Agni, Maggie, yeah, the entire crew there is going to be there. Alaric as well, or Duality will be there too. So that's that. Tuesday next week is you can go see Affy and Artemis over at Chaotic, over at Rick's channel, Hammer of the Gods, for Chaotica Pandemic. The freaking spell, the school game one. It's Latin. Chaotica and Academia Pandaria. I don't know. I'm starting to say Pandaria like I'm playing Warcraft or something. Hail to the pandas. And then Wednesday is free this week. Second thing. You silly cat. I'm trying. Yeah, see? I need Affy to remind me what the name of the damn thing is because it's Latin and I have a Latin brain right now. That's later in the campaign. Second thing, we have been raising money for Black Girl White Coat, which is a charity that raises money to help people of color who are more disadvantaged in these situations get into medicine and the medical fields. We were actually about $50 off the target from last month, so maybe You know, spread some of that love. Maybe especially tomorrow because it's payday for a lot of people. Hint, hint. And finally, I'm going to check to see. Oh, what? Oh, we've already been told to hydrate by Afi. Oh, take a swig of water. Yeah, we're about $44 off.
I'm sucking kiwi juice. Does that count?
Yes. Okay, one final quick. Trying to see if I missed anything.
Yep, $43.99
Merch.
off. All 1 cent probably because of Agni.
Yep. Merch store. Merch store. Merch store. Merch store. Merch store. Okay. Merch store. We have our new merch store over at Society 6 / Vactaire TTV. Afi, Artemis, correct me if I'm wrong, but because Redbubble were dickheads about Afi's logo, which I have adorned on my computer case right here. See, I got it right. I remembered without having to look for anything. And so, go over there, look at the merch. It's pretty good damn stuff. When I have some more money, I will probably get more stickers to put on my computer case. Alright, I think I've done all the spiels. Announcements, introductions. So, I only have one final thing to ask / say. Are you all ready?
Let's do this.
Alright.
Always.
So, let's
Here for nothing.
Let's set the scene.
I mean, anything.
So, you're all napping aboard this ship that's taking you to Limsa Lominsa, which is formerly known as the pirate capital of Eorzea. It's one of the 3 main nations of the Eorzean Alliance. The other 2 being Gridania, the forest nation, and Uldar, the nation of merchants and in the desert, the desert sands. And you all start to have a very odd dream. As the 4 of you descend into the depths, you hear heavenly harp music being played, and all of you are kind of descending and swirling down into this darkness. Head first, leaving crystalline trails behind you, before you right yourselves, and the 4 of you stand upon the ethereal sea, looking out into the void. As you kind of all open your eyes and you look around, you don't know where you are. It's not very often that mortals get brought to the ethereal sea for any reason. But as you start to maybe consider walking and exploring your surroundings, there is a great burst of darkness that erupts in front of you, and a black-robed man steps out from a portal to the void. And when he does so and spots the 4 of you, he immediately casts a hand down his face, and a glowing red sigil that it obscures him, but also to you, especially to those of you who are more magically attuned. All of you are etherically attuned, but those of you who use ether in the magical arts, That would include Crayon, because Void and Reaper and stuff would know that that mask is basically him powering up. It's like a limiter release of sorts. As he is charging up to attack you, the four of you hear a chorus in your ears telling you the following 3 words: hear, feel, think. As you hear this chorus, you begin to don far more practical, powerful clothing. It's like the armor of the elder days of your various professions. For example, Cherry is wearing a full blue set of blue mage robes with a kind of like a masquerade mask, and Akemi is wearing a full set of a heavy plate with spikes and kind of blood staining, as well as like a heavy Zweihander that has kind of an eye set in the hilt. Posture check, everybody. Make sure you're sitting properly. Thanks, Artemis. And as you are all equipped with this new armor and your corresponding weapons, you raise them into the air with a crackling of lightning. But it's not like regular lightning, like the element. It's like you are surging with light ether as this masked man, this masked mage, charges at you, and the 4 of you charge at him. And then you wake up. And at that point, you wake up to listen to a friendly old man. You don't seem all the worse for wear, by the way. None of you seem to be suffering from ethereal sickness or anything crazy like that. But you do wake up to a concerned kind of interrogatory from this gentleman dressed in red next to you. Yeah, just remember, some of us have weak bladders, y'all. This has water in it, by the way. It's got ice in it. Okay, so another hydrate if you all didn't notice. Okay. So the figure in red, and it's a regular old hewer. Nothing special about this fella. Says, "Oh yeah, you all right there, folks?"
Yeah, fine.
Great.
Oh, you lot were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. One of the ship got your stomach churning, has it?
Hardly. Wouldn't exactly call what we had gentle sleep, though.
Now that I look at the 4 of you, it don't seem like seasickness. It'll be the ether. It might be ether.
Kemi just shrugs.
See, some are more sensitive to that stuff, you know, and it affects people in different ways, but, you know, yours is pretty thick with the stuff, and we are passing by Ferro Sirius, that old lighthouse. That's got a lot of corrupted ether sticking out of it. But anyway, you'll all adjust, it'll be fine. And suddenly, as you talk with this elderly gent dressed in the colours of Limsa's Maelstrom, their military force, the ship kind of shakes a bit, just a little bit of rough. And he's like, You know what? You all might as well have been seasick. Ship's been leaping around like a bloody demented chocobo today. I reckon, I don't know about you, but I might head out on deck, get myself a bit of fresh air. Limsa's still a bit of a fair way off, in case you're wondering. Soon as you're awake and all, you want to come up topside with me and see what's what?
I suppose so.
Why not?
Hey, that might be a good idea.
Okay, so this passenger who still hasn't introduced himself properly takes the four of you up topside, and as you get up, you notice two more passengers, two young Elven, both with white hair, very similar hairstyles, similar faces, but they have two different ponytail kind of like braidal colours, like ties in their hair. One of them is blue, one of them is red. Clearly, you suspect that these two may be twins, and those colours are denoting their genders, or which one is which. Both. Someone's clearly a bit old-fashioned when it comes to that. Anyway, look, those two kids ain't much for conversation. Don't know what is up with you. Hello, cat. But Brennan's my name, and peddling's my trade, merchant of sorts. And he heads out topside, where you get to, and are all of you following Brennan up topside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So as the ship is sailing full steam ahead, it's completely on the winds, at the mercy of the ether, because y'all ain't Garleans, you don't use Magitech. Yeah, you're all etherically sensitive and that fun stuff. You see crew members kind of running around and doing sailory looking things as you walk alongside Brennan on the deck. No one of these seems to be taking much notice of you. Salty sea breeze. Now, four of you, let's have a look at you. He kind of, he looks at the four of you, and he kind of appraises each of you in turn. Now, judging by your unusual choice of garments, I'd say you're adventurers, are you not? Am I in the right ballpark?
Yeah,
Those you
basically.
call that?
Something like that.
Yeah, I know it. Go whenever the wind blows and seeks you fortune and glory. Now that's what I call a living. No, so, I mean, so long as you can avoid dying, of course. Ain't no secret that the adventuring's a risky business, and these days, especially after the calamity and all. What was it that first attracted you lot to the adventuring life?
Dumb luck in my case.
Bad luck in mine.
I don't exactly remember.
It just kind of happened.
I love how nonchalant you all are. That plays right into my hands. Well, honestly, a lot of people do it for three main reasons: power, glory, and or fortune. It's all dreams we've had at one time or another, you know. Once you've learned to handle yourself in a fight, assuming you ain't already, you're probably gonna want to pay your visit maybe some of the seedier parts of town, see if there's anything that needs cleaning up. Thing is, Limsa's renowned for its smithies and its armourers. You know, not to mention fishing, of course.
Armor?
Yep. Yeah, Limsa is home to the renowned Naldik and Vermelis, the finest armourers and blacksmiths in the realm. Fishing, yep. I mean, we are a coastal town, after all. We're basically the main port nation of the Eagles and the Alliance. Of course, we like fishing. What we catch goes to the tables of the wealthy nobles of the syndicate in Uldar, and you know, sometimes it goes. Some of our catches go out as far as Gridania. If they, though their stuff tends to be more. Their requests tend to be more ritualistic in base, the elementals and such, making sure everything's in balance, land, sea, and air, and all that fun shite. I mean, I don't purport to know much about the elementals and their rights, but that's the job of the Pajol, after all, and the Elder Seed Seer. He kind of muses, but I'm getting off my track. Adventuring ain't just about killing things, you see. There's a lot you can be doing. But always remember that there are more important things than power, fortune, and glory. And that's a fact. It's more important to be fucking breathing. And as you're having this conversation, a cannonball. You hear the sounds of cannon fire crash into the water off the starboard side where you're with Brennan, and it knocks him over. And the four of you manage to keep yourself righted. As much as your memories are kind of fuzzy about the last good period of time, you're not averse to shipboard combat, apparently. But the ship kind of lurches to one side, as if you look out, you see 3 ships off the starboard bow, and one of the sailors starts yelling, "Oi! Ships off the starboard bow! 3 of them! Pirate colours!" And you kneel down to one of you should probably kneel down to help Brennan, but the rest of you can kind of take a look at the ships. But the sailors are all running round, preparing to. It seems like they're not preparing for combat, but I don't know if any of you have a nautical background, so But one of the sailors comes over. It's like, "Oi! Have you got no sense? Get below. We'll handle this. Go."
Kemi reaches down and helps Brennan back up. Doing alright?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright, mate. I'm doing alright. I think we should probably do what that lad says, though, and get down below. Look, what I was saying about making sure you're still breathing, probably a good idea right now. I don't think the 4 of you are capable as you look, taking on 3 separate pirate ships and fucking 12 beside you if they're flying Serpent Reaver colours. Oh, you don't want to be fighting with the Fishbacks. Personal freaking tempered sods, drowned souls. He might have something like 12, bless them. What is the world coming to? Pirates are firing on ships. Look, firing Lominsa colours. The treaty was supposed to solve all this. I guess some of them just don't want to fall in line behind the Admiral. The sailor that came and yelled at you to get behind deck comes crashing down and it's like, it's alright friends, you can rest easy. We managed to give them the slip. We got quite some fair winds and we managed to get away. Do any of you have anything you want to say or ask or...
What treaty?
So, how much do you know about the history of old Limsa?
Very little.
Okay. Well,
Nada.
I'm sorry, Donna. I need you to go down. Okay. So I need to sit properly for a bit. Okay. So, Limsa is no surprise that we were once a loose bandage of pirates and ne'er-do-wells. And we typically tended to roam the seas, cutting each other's throats, keel-hauling merchants, and doing, for lack of better terminology, typical pirate shite. But then certain threats to our survival started coming by. The primals, for example, Leviathan and Titan, the kobolds and the Sahagin, the fishbags I mentioned before. They started summoning their gods because they saw us as encroaching upon their territory. So a certain enterprising young lass at the time, calling herself Merwin Blurfisfin, began rallying the various crews under her banner. And she became the admiral of what we now call Limsa Lominsa, which is essentially the remains built out of the remains of some of our greatest ships. The treaty we all signed is basically, in essence, a defensive pact that we would renounce pirating and we would turn our fleets, our manpower, weapons, skills, all that stuff to essentially defending our home. But there were some that refused to fall in line with the Admiral. And one of those bands of traitors is the Serpent Reavers. The Serpent Reavers are a bit of a special case though. They work directly with the Sahagin, who worship Leviathan in turn, to basically terrorize Lanosia at large. So they violated, ignored, whatever you want to call it, the treaty that established the phallocracy of Limsa Lominsa. And as such, they have taken to continuing piracy, including against ships flying maelstrom colours. So long story short, They ain't bound by the same treaty that the rest of us are to defend one another. And so they're fair game. Especially if they're acting like this and acting all fucking brazen. I'll tell you that. And the sailor just kind of... He's a Rogadin and he just kind of puts his hand behind his head and scritches. Well, enough chattering from me. We're almost, we'll be almost at Limsa soon. So, you may want to start gathering your provisions and such and prepare to make anchor. But until then, hopefully we'll have a bit more quieter voyage. And he heads up back topside, leaving the four of you with those Ellison twins and with Brennan. You've got a few minutes before you make land. If you want to do anything, ask any questions, talk to anyone, go look at things. The floor is yours.
Cherry's just gonna kind of like walk around the like area they're in and just kind of look at things. Like nothing in particular, just kind of see what's around.
It's a pretty sparse transportation ship. You know, most of the cargo is below decks, sealed away for obvious reasons, because not only could there be kind of more dangerous goods, there are some goods that are traded in that are actively sought out by pirates. What those are, you might be able to glean with an Arcana check, but that's up to you whether you want to pry a little further into that matter or not.
Kemi's gonna sit in the little corner they made for themselves and just kind of start sharpening their cooking knives.
Okay.
Crane's looking out and like just looking around and seeing what's around the ship.
Go on, Durante.
I was saying Shikayo's looking to see if she can find any booze laying around.
There are definitely some complimentary bottles of booze kicking around the lower deck there as kind of a compliment to the crew because of the bullshit that just happened. So if you want to if you want to have a bit of a nip, you can. Of course, it's freaking rum because why not? You are on a Limsa ship after all.
Yeah, she's gonna grab the bottle, pop the cork, and take a sniff at it, and then just start chugging it.
Kemi's gonna take a bottle or two just to keep.
Crayon, as you kind of take a look around, the sea, you know, if you look at the portholes, seas are pretty calm. And you don't see any other hostile vessels coming at you. Of course, because the portholes are left and right, you don't really see going forward. So if you head up topside, which is now safe to do so, you will see the pride of Lenosha itself, and I'm going to put this in the... I need to think about this active session chat real quick. Boop. And then go back to this. Haha. The crowning jewel of Lenosha, of the region of Lenosha, Limsa Lominsa. As you begin to make dock on the lower decks, I believe. Yep, the lower decks at the ferry docks by Maelvan's Gate, which is also known as the customs office of Limsa, and the place where they train arcanists. So not only is it the customs office, but it is also the Arcanist Guild. As you step off, Brennan kind of follows after. Said, "You smell that sea air? Good old Limsa. Blessed by the navigator, and much more besides." I tell you what, I'm gonna go and do some peddling, some wheeling and dealing, and I'm gonna take my leave of you, as pleasant as it was. But I'll tell you what, someday, if our paths cross again, I'd like to hear about your stories, and hopefully you four have made yourselves the kinds of people who have made yourself, you know, that the bards are singing about.
I don't want people to sing about me.
Well, I mean, it's a bit difficult sometimes. But anyway, as they say here in Limsa, till sea swallows all. And the merchant, dressed in red, makes his way towards Hawker's Alley, down the path, the cobblestone path, past the Arcanist Guild. Oh, Artemis is already up to her tricks. You're all getting inspiration by the looks of it. So far, Duality's got one, Ink's got one. So for those of you who don't know, you can bank free inspiration, which is free rerolls or free advantages. So I'm pretty sure Artemis is buying one for each of you so far.
Yep.
So you've all got one inspiration so far. So as you disembark, you notice a yellow jacket, or rather a Rogadin in a rather military looking yellow uniform, kind of looking around near the entrance to the archway that leads you further on into Limsa proper. Most people are just kind of, you know, walking past, not paying any heed.
Good.
But how about the three of you? There's not really a path, an alternate path that you can take to go around. Unfortunately, they thought very well about this. Like, outside of docking at the Fisherman's Guild, which is for fishing vessels only, Hydrate, everybody. Okay. With the way they've designed this particular part of Limsa, you can't go into the city proper without passing through customs.
So we're going through customs.
Kind of.
May as well get this over with. Akemi heaves his backpack looking rucksack thing over his shoulder and motions to the rest to follow.
And he just shrugs and follows him.
Shikao just throws her bag over her shoulder, still drinking out of the bottle.
And yeah, Cherry just kind of follows along behind everyone else.
All right. Okay. So, tell you what, how about everyone give me a history check?
What was that one?
I don't think that rolled right. It landed on some random shit and it didn't look right. It was like half rolled. So give me a second.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
19.
Good.
So got 19.
So Kemi and
16.
Jerry. Okay, and what about Crayon?
16.
Good. The three. Okay. Shikao.
So everybody but the drunk. Got it.
Everybody but the drunk. Everybody but the drinking kitty. What will we do with a drunken kitty? What do we do with a drunken kitty? The drinking kitty is like doesn't recognise that the person in a yellow military outfit is a yellow jacket, and they are like one of the two main military forces in Limsa. You have like I'm talking about ground. Of course, you have the fleets and such, but the yellow jackets are essentially the police in a manner of speaking. They keep law and order in La Nocia. They deal with problems as they come up, like mundane kind of things, piracy, all that fun stuff. The Maelstrom, on the other hand, the grand company led by the Admiral herself, tends to deal with the big stuff. They're far more organised military. They're the ones who fight wars and fight the Beastmen and the Primals and the Empire if it turns up. So you're basically dealing with a cop right now, as he kind of holds his hand up. So the three of you who got who rolled well would know this, that basically you're about to be dealing with the police. Okay, and he kind of pulls his hand up. So hang on. Before I let you three proceed, it's really freaking clear to me that you're adventurous, and look, I'm sure you're itching to explore, the city proper, but you gotta kind of register your presence officially. And I'm gonna be honest, have any of you been here before?
No.
No.
So, problem with that is, if you don't know where you're going, you're gonna probably get your throat slit in some piss drunk alley. And he looks at Shikao. And it seems like one of you's already been hitting the bottle as it is. So, go on.
That's normal.
Yeah, I mean, I keep an eye on your compatriot there, if you wouldn't mind. So, before you lot do anything else, you should go to the upper decks, and you should go over to the Drowning Wench and enlist with the Adventurers Guild here in Limsa, who can give you some more information on the things going on and keep an eye on you. And thankfully, it ain't all that far. It's just head down this street and speak with my colleague Grayfar. We have a big ass elevator we call here, called the Crow's Lift, and that'll take you either down to the airship landing, which you ain't supposed to be because you ain't got a fucking airship pass, you hear me? Or it takes you down to our tavern, to the Drowning Wench, where you can speak to the proprietor, one Mr. Baderon, and you can have a chat with him about enlisting with the guild. Savvy?
Alright.
Yeah.
Hey.
Any of you objecting to what this axe wielding cop is trying to tell you?
No.
Good. I don't want to have to start rolling freaking military stats and having you lot get sent to the brig. All right then. Navigator, keep you. And he nods and he goes back to keeping an eye out for ne'er-do-wells. So what do the four of you do after you've been politely released unto the city by this yellow police officer?
Said there was armor around here.
Yeah, there is. But you're not sure where, because you've not been here before. So you would have to figure out how to get to the Armourers Guild.
Yep.
Kenny starts looking for something with a map on it. Or signs.
There were signs. Right. I, unfortunately, because, and I'm going to be very explicit here, I actually do need to go and deal with that, with everyone making me drink. Because I do actually have a weak bladder, so 2-minute break to go and do what you like, snacks, pee, and after this, it seems like we're going to be finding the Armourers Guild. So stay tuned. If I can find the right button, there it is. Okay, we're back. Not only did I have to go to an emergency bathroom break because y'all keep telling me to hydrate, turns out Streamlabs decided to crash on me and kill the entire stream while also telling me that it wasn't dead. So I just had to do a quick restart of the old Streamlabs, and we're back. Okay, so quick recap. For those of you who may have just joined us, I'm going to make sure that we are correctly... Oh, no. Might need some fine-tuning. Where are you? Why has that gone weird all of a sudden? That's gone very, very weird. The voice things that say, yes, you're apparently the chat, but now I fixed it because it was not maximized and weirdness. This is what happens when I don't pop it out. I'll fix that next time. Like this session 1. Of course we're gonna have fucking tech problems. We're so professional. Okay. So you just talked to this yellow jacket, whose name you didn't think to ask, just in case you wanted to, I don't know, turn him in for bothering you or some shit. I don't know. I'd love for you to try, but we'll see. Um, so it seems like Crayon's looking intently for directions to the Armorers Guild. Um, there are signposts all around Limsa leading to different parts of the town. So you would be able to find your way easy enough, I would say, without having to do any crazy navigation or any of that. I'm not that much of an asshole to start making you roll checks to see if you can read road signs. Whether they've been they haven't been tampered with. That's the other part of it. So you I mean, thanks for that, because now I've just had an idea. Hey, make me make me a wisdom save. Duality. As all of you start heading off towards like the Armorers Guild, against the advice of that yellow jacket, you see Shikail start eyeing one of the stalls because it has more liquor, and you're in danger of leaving them behind. Shikail, you feel the hand of an intersex Ra kind of just reach down and yank your pants and start dragging you off. Are you attempting to get out of this, or are you just letting it happen? So the scene is y'all are making your way towards the Armorers Guild. And as you're going through, you see Akemi is just dragging Shikail, you're just lifting this, lifting this Mikote through the town, past Maelstrom Command, who all kind of stare at this spectacle. While Shikail is just like, yeah, whatever. Glug, glug, glug. Yep. Yeah. So eventually within a matter of minutes, really, it's not that far. Limsa might be a city, but it's relatively compacted. So especially because you got the upper decks and lower decks. So you make it, and you smell easily. Those of you with noses, Shikail might have their senses a bit addled by the drink, but those of you who haven't been on the booze can definitely tell the sounds of smithing, and the smell of heated forges and coke and metal being melted and reforged into armor and to weapons and all that good stuff. Especially you, Crayon, because yeah, you wanted to come here for some reason. And you notice that Naldik and Vermelis is called the way it is because it's actually two separate guilds in one. It is the Blacksmithing Guild, which focuses on weapons and tools, And the Armourers Guild, which does exactly what it says on the tin. It's armour, metal armour specifically. If you want leather armour and stuff, you got to go find a leather worker in Gridania. You know, you would probably have that knowledge because you have to kind of work closely. If you're an armourer, you kind of have to work closely with leather workers sometimes. You need a basis to put all those metal plates on, after all. And you see a Mikote with goggles on and an armourer's apron, and she has kind of long black hair, and she's directing a lot of the novice smiths and looking at their work, and she's not bellowing at them if they make mistakes or anything, but you know, she's giving them kind of, you know, tips for improvement and such. It's very clear to you that this is probably one of the more senior smiths. So, over to you. No. Well, okay, that's a lie. You're seeing mainly metal, but there are pieces of leather around. To help with kind of putting everything together, so to speak. You've got like a leather underlayer that then supports basic metal plating, rings, that kind of thing. So and as you're doing that, you know, you do actually spy a relatively modest frying pan that one of the initiates is making, and that initiate is being looked over by a young man, also in a rather ornate apron with his goggles on top of his head instead of the Mikote you saw before, who had her goggles pulled down. And he's kind of gently appraising and guiding this initiate in casting this pan. The man with the goggles kind of gives you a glance and nods. Says, "Aye, not bad for an apprentice making a bronze pan. Definitely has his technique right. I think before long he'll be working with iron. Is something we can help you with?" Well, thankfully for you, this one is not. This one is essentially practice for the initiates. It ain't for an order. I'd be willing to maybe part of it for a reduced rate if you're willing, especially given the circumstances. He thinks it's clear that he's trying to calculate. You know what? Because it's considering this one's an apprentice and this is just a basic bronze pan, I'd be willing to see it for 50 gil. Make me a persuasion check. Yeah, I could do 45. So you hand over some gill, and the apprentice at this point is like quenching the pan, is getting it ready so it's actually, available for sale. And before long, you actually are the owner of a brand new bronze cooking pan. Did you take culinarian as your craft, your one craft? Okay. That pan will give you a +1 on culinarian checks. And then that leads over to back to Crayon. What are you looking at or looking for? You kind of feel like as you look around that you think like talking to that Mikote in the apron would probably be your best bet. She's also, like I say, she's not berating the apprentices or anything, so she doesn't seem like an asshole. But she does seem like a stern taskmistress, so maybe you wanna check in with her and see what's up. We always do. Our initiates tend to go through plenty of it. Though, I'm surprised you aren't asking Mistress Gaver over at the Level Workers Guild in Gridania for such a question. Are you actually a trained level worker, or? Fair. Fair. We definitely have some leather scraps you could buy from us that the initiates no longer use. If you're looking to practice your own crafts, I'd ask for maybe a donation of 30 gil for the material costs, just to help cover getting new materials for the apprentices. True, but you'd also be kind of helping the next generation of up and coming artisans. Make me a persuasion. $20 will do. Yeah. And assuming you hand over the gill, she hands you over a pretty sizable stack of leather scraps that you can use with leather working or as part of armoring as well, either way, to have some fun with between games. See if you make something cool of it. Shikayo, Cherry, are you two up to anything while your compatriots are bartering for materials and pans and all the rest of it? Are you looking for anything fun? No, that'd probably be over at the Culinarians Guild, which is in Limsa. How about you, Cherry? Are you getting anything here? Okay. So, Akemi and Crayon have gotten some fun stuff from the guilds here. Where are you heading next? Are you going to take up the what that yellow jacket told you and go and get registered at the guild, or is there something else you want to go do? Um, are you okay? Are you going willingly this time, Shikayo? She got distracted. They got distracted. Very true. They got, yeah, Mikote especially. Assuming you're all in agreement, we'll move you along to the Drowning Wench, which, as you go to the upper decks, back past the Maelstrom Command, you see, you kind of go into the main kind of hub, where what the Limsa's called Bulwark Hall is. So on the lower decks you have Bulwark Hall and the elevator there, down there. And on the upper decks you have the Drowning Wench. And then further up you have the airship landing and the Admiral's office, which is currently restricted. There are guards outside the lift to that office. Okay. So you take the lift to the Drowning Wench, and yeah, it's a circular room with wooden pillars. Looks like again it's been made out of ship's timber from ships that have fallen in battle or just gone past their prime, and a mix of other materials you'd find typically around the coast, around the sea. Definitely smells of the more piratey sorts of alcohol. One side you see someone giving out jobs to do, and on the right hand side of the bar you also see like a corridor leading towards inn rooms that's also guided by an innkeep. There's like a counter for an innkeep there, and in the actual center you have an array of 9 tables, circular with one in the center, and there are plenty of places to sit right now. You can only surmise that there are plenty of crews that are out serving the phallosocracy, and there might be some that are doing less than legal things, of course. But you see a rather swashbuckly looking gent drying up glasses behind the bar, just kind of looking out and over his establishment and keeping an eye out. And it definitely looks like he's made a mental note that the 4 of you have entered. So over to you. Hi. Greetings to you. I was going to offer you a drink and ask you what your poison was, but you ain't here for the drink, are you? You And Baderon, with the trained bartender's eye, casts a very appraising glare over Shikail, who is no longer drunk, at least, has kind of walked it off a bit. Unless Shikail wishes to prove me wrong. That's fair. Alcohol has less of an effect on you because you just drink so damn much. So the four of you were keen to try out your hand out at adventuring then, eh? Well, tell you what, we got no shortage of work here in Limsa. So what do they call you lot then? Just for the purposes of registration, right? And don't be giving me fake names. Look, I know we got the dutiful sisters of the Edelweiss down in the upper deck, the upper decks, over in the upper decks. But don't you be giving me that bullshit. So what do they call you for then? What are your various trades? And I mean the more venturing kind, not the makey kind. At that, he stops and he kind of tilts his head. I'm begging your pardon. You said a Dark Knight? Am I led to believe that you're here because someone's committed a crime? We don't tend to see your kind out of Ishgard all that much, to be honest. And that even then, that's because they are how can I put it? They're fighting the corruption of the high houses. So what's the Dark Knight doing all the way in Limsa? You think something seedy's going on? Fair enough. Just be careful. The yellow jackets don't take kindly to your particular brand of justice. If you start lopping people's heads off because they're breaking the laws and stuff, you'll be the one putting the break. Or worse. And with that, he looks at Crayon Scythe as like... he just kind of like... his eye kind of twitches a little bit. Say, you ain't one of those practitioner of Garlean arts, are you? Like Imperial arts with the scythe? You know, the Reapers? Are ya? You ain't planning to be unleashing your dark magics on our town, are you? I really don't want to have to be calling the Maelstrom in to deal with Void Scent. That's not my kind of a good day. Oh, well, that's good to know, I guess. And he laughs. He's just like... Fair enough. I'm just doing my due diligence. It's not very often we see Dark Knights or Reapers out of these ways. It's a bit weird. But you, when he points to Shikail, by those weapons on your hips and your physique in general, if you don't mind me saying, You happen to be someone who dances the king's dance, the König's dance. Yeah. It's funny that you should come along here. Word has it, there's a world famous dance troupe, Falsiam, spelt Falsiam. That's here looking for those that are more athletically inclined, shall we say. They're looking for help with going on a bit of a tour of Eorzea, spreading the knowledge of the König's dance. There might be something else they're looking for help with if you have the time and inclination. I'm pretty sure I saw their principal, their head dancer, down on the lower decks, prepping for a display with her troupe at some point. And you, mate. He looks at Cherry. That's a bit of a weird little cane you got there. See, it's not white magic because there's a big. You need 2 hands, and it's not thaumaturgy because you're not trying to summon fire or ice, and it's not a red mage's rapier. Huh. What kind of conjurer are you then? Well, I mean, there's also green magic, to be fair. But green magic tends to be, spraying oil at people and stuff like that. But blue magic, that's a funny one. Now, it's funny because there were some people. Well, I say people. There was this fella, Martin, with a Y. Martyn, who was travelling through here with his 2 associates. They were beastmen. Sahagin, actually. He couldn't really come into the city proper with them because, Sahagin, Limsa. You get how it is. Those 2 would have been speared. But rumor has it, he was looking a while ago. He was looking for people willing to take up the arts of learning monster magic, but he's moved on. Something about setting up a coliseum or something, a monster coliseum in Uldar. So maybe when you get some time and inclination, maybe you could pay old Martin a visit and see if there's anything you could share with him. Good. It's amazing what you hear when you're a barkeep. Now, so if you hadn't already figured out who I am, my name's Baderon, and I am the host here at the Drown and Wench. I spend less time fucking bartending these days and more time saving rookie adventurers from getting their asses handed to them, either by critters or other monsters and fauna and flora, or bandits or pirates, or by the yellow jackets when they fall foul of the law, than I do bartending. I don't know what the world's coming to, but honestly, after the freaking calamity, honestly, I ain't gonna say it's the worst thing in the world. Truthfully. Anyway. So, I know you lot have a knack for finding trouble. But do me a favour and try and keep your noses out of it for as long as you can until you really have to. It'd be nice to actually have to be able to write, instead of having to write home to someone's parents, to be able to write tales about how I met a good band of adventurers who knew what the seven hells they were doing. You feel me? I mean, the problem with Limsa is there's trouble wherever you look. You got the fishbacks, the kobolds, like I said, the pirates, and don't forget the Guardians, freaking Empire. You know, there's the bloody sea-bound Castrum Marinum, or whatever the 7 L's it's called. But you know what really is going on here in this here town is that people are scared of what might happen next. After the calamity and that huge feck off dragon that came out of the moon, it's just people are wondering what's going to happen next, and it's not easy, you know, having to write home to families or say that a loved one has died because they went too deep into something and got in trouble. So, like I say, don't end up the same way as them. What I wouldn't give, though, for those warriors of light that were on Cartino that day, to come back and guide us for all this through the maelstrom, as it were. Bollocks if I can remember their faces, though. Oh, have we lost the incubus? Very possible. Well, thinking whether it'd be now a good time to take a full-blown break, because we're going to about Okay. Let's finish off with Baderon and then we'll take a break, and yeah, we do a check on things. So maybe one day you lot will be the next Warriors of Light. Who knows? And if it turns out I'm right, well, it'll be a pleasure to know you and a pleasure to serve you. I mean, it'll give me some degree of notoriety as well. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Okay. But yeah, if y'all just sign your names on the dotted lines here in my book, I'll officially consider you enlisted in the Limsa Lominsa Adventurers Guild, and we'll provide you whatever support we can to make sure you don't find yourselves meeting the Navigator in an early watery grave. So, do y'all sign Baderon's book? Cool. In that case, he looks at it, and he looks to make sure your names aren't funny or forged, and he's got a keen eye for that kind of shite. And yeah, says, right, you four are now fine, upstanding adventurers in the Limsa Guild, And that is where we are going to take our first break for the night. Well, second, technically. The first was an emergency because y'all kept telling me to hydrate. But the second, we'll take our proper mid-game break for now. Don't forget, go have a Canadian Dice. And donate to Black Girl, White Coat if you can. In the meantime, we'll see you soon. And we return. Yes, we are here. Okay. Though I gotta do one thing. There. I gotta micro adjust that. No, I don't. Why is it? Oh, because this thing is not maximized. Fucking Discord.
Whoa.
Yeah. For some reason now it's completely cocked up. Where ink and Alaric are on the scale of things. Now it's behaving. Why does it do that? I don't know.
Brat.
Discord's a brat, y'all. Alright, so our 4 adventurers are now officially adventurers. And they're not unless they do anything shitty, they're not going to have the long arm of the law after them for not registering properly. And therefore not being treated as as pirates. I'm going to cough and I'm going to be a pirate. Excuse me.
Isn't it?
Fucking lungs. Who needs them? Okay. So, with that in mind, you see 3 yellow jackets come into the tavern. And it's like, Oi! The lead one of them, it's like, a bit gruffly said, Oi, you 4. You sailed on that last ferry, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Captain reported being attacked by a pirate vessel. And several witnesses have testified independently that passengers matching your description went out on deck moments before the incident took place. Were you sending your friends signals?
What kind of signals would we even send?
Oh, I don't know. Start the attack kind of signals. Don't play coy with me.
Oh, because we look like pirates?
I mean, pirates come in all shapes and sizes.
Do they come in Reaper?
Oh. A Reaper, huh? I don't know. Does someone who studied the old Garlean arts, is that worse than a pirate, you two? I don't know. Is an Imperial worse than a pirate? And Karen, you get the distinct sense that you've just been insulted. Like, being called an Imperial, given what the Imperials have done and what they did at Cartano and everything, when you're not an Imperial,
Yeah.
kind of stings. I'm waiting to see what y'all do.
Look, I wasn't going to. I was trying to be good and trying to be quiet, but I'm still a member of the military, so why would I go cohorting with pirates?
Oh yeah, which of the grand companies do you serve?
don't know which one he would serve. So,
Well, make a persuasion check to try and bluff this guy into thinking you're a member of the Maelstrom.
I got a 12.
You also got inspiration.
Oh, that's true, I do. What do I roll for inspiration?
You just roll another dice and take the best result.
Okay. Yeah, I think the 12 is still the better one. The other one was a 5.
Unfortunate.
He raises his eyebrow. You don't look like any Maelstrom member I've ever seen. For a start, you're not wearing uniform red. Secondly, that's a pretty big ass sword. We don't tend to use swords. Well, the Maelstrom don't tend to use those size of swords. Axes, maybe. Maybe cutlasses, especially if they're an officer. No, I don't know about you.
I'm
I
just
think.
a cook.
Oh, so
You know what?
now you're a cook.
Everybody.
Military cook, but
Did you Cherry, Shikail, do you two intervene at all, or just watch what Akimi and Crayon are trying to do?
At this point, Chikao would probably walk forward and like, we had nothing to do with any of that. I can assure you of that. It's just a coincidence because we were invited on deck by a merchant. I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Eureka's drink.
well, they did give them alcohol after everything happened.
And you really think I should listen to a tale of a drunk?
That makes more sense than what you said.
I beg your pardon,
I didn't say anything.
Cherry. Not yeah. Cherry. Are you doing anything? This is going downhill fast.
Cherry's literally like mentally like, oh my god, this is the worst thing that could have happened. But yeah, Cherry just kind of steps forward and is like, look, it was all just a case of like wrong place, wrong time. I'm not sure if there's anything we could do to prove that we, didn't give signals, but there's also nothing we could do to prove like either way. So.
And at that point, Baderon speaks up. So, yeah, officer, come on, you clearly listen. Why are you coming in here harassing me patrons, especially that one? You've got the wrong people. Those people are my dear departed grandma's sisters, nieces, cousins, closest companions. They wouldn't be caught dead fraternising with the more unsavoury elements of Limsa Lominsa. You get me? Even with, a Dark Knight and a Reaper among their things, they're good, upstanding citizens. They just have uncommon methods of dealing with, the fishbacks and shite. Baderon, all right. This officer kind of backs down. You're aware of the recent kidnappings, right? We can't be too trusting of outsiders right now. The loyalty of our closest friends is in doubt right now. And Baderon replies, well, you're not wrong there. But don't worry, I'm keeping an eye open at all times, and two more often than not, to be honest. Now, what say you to a tankard of me very fine cell before you're ready to turn to your duties, for all three of you? Not a watered down cup of piss, like last time? I don't know what you're talking about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grog this side of the Strait of Malta, but it don't mean we can't get you good and bickled. Ah, come on. There's a chair with a table begging to have its boots put on upon it. And the Yellow Jackets unfortunately shake their head, kind of give you all one final look, and then leave.
They certainly jumped quickly onto that conclusion.
Don't be too hard on them, friend shape. They're not wrong. There've been a spate of kidnappings, and they ain't got a clues behind them. And right now they're jumping at shadows, and it don't. No offense, it don't help the two of you rely on the dark arts of the void for some of your proclivities is probably the word I'd use. Abilities is better actually.
Blame it us and we just got here. Like, how the hell are we going to be doing any of that when we just pulled into port?
That's a good question. But Yellow Jackets ain't often the smartest of folks. If you want...
I've
if
found
you-
that most that join the military often are.
You don't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah. I mean, don't take it personal. Like us, you know us Liminsons. I hope. We could be a headstrong bunch of bastards. At the best of times. And, you know, but we'll grow on you now. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Officially in the guild. So, welcome to Limsa Lominsa, where seas green as the faces of your patrons after too many black belly whiskies. Take a minute to gather your wits, and then we'll get you learning the city, shall we? Yeah? So, yeah, I'll have a little bit of downtime before you can go and explore the city, so you can do what you like for a little bit. You can go explore the city, sit and get drunk, fornicate. I don't know. I don't know. I don't judge.
Kemi does want to go out and find the Culinary Guild.
Okay. How about you, Cherry? What do you want to go do?
Cherry also wants to go to the Culinary Guild, but because they're hungry.
Fair. Shikayo, what did
We'll
you
go
like?
with.
Wait, hang on a second. Okay, so let me. Before I'm going to make a prediction here. Shikayo wants to go to the Culinary Guild to get drunk.
That's not even a prediction, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
They were promised to be bought booze from somebody else.
And then and Crayon's just hooking up for the ride.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, let's do one kind of critical thing first, so y'all don't like get stranded out in the middle of nowhere. So Baderon listens to you. Is like, right, well, if you want to go to the Bismarck, sorry, that's the highest class restaurant we got. It's also home of the Culinarians Guild, just so you know. But let's get you used to life here in Limsa. Now, any of you lot know what an Aephorite is? You all can give me Arcana checks on that one, if you like, to tell me whether you know how to answer this question or not.
15.
Okay.
18.
And Crayon.
12.
You have a vague notion of it's that big crystal on the lower decks, upper decks. Either way, yeah, lower. I can't remember. Limsa always confuses me.
That was my starting area, so I know it.
I just started an Arcanist. I should know better. I've been playing through again to help remind me of some of the Limsa stuff, because I always usually start as a freaking Lancer or something. So you know it's that big crystal thing on the lower decks that everyone tends to gather around, play music by, strip near. It's a wonder why the Yellow Jackets aren't like arresting nudists. Then again, it's a pirate city. Anything goes. Most things go, I should say. They're not too fond of the old slavery or, the other illegal stuff. That's stuff they're hanging you from the yardarm for. So you have a vague idea of what an aetheryte is. The rest of you have an actual pretty good understanding that an aetheryte and the ether network are basically teleportation points. They are giant crystals that channel ether in a huge network across the land and within cities as well, to a lesser extent. They act as beacons and allow you to use teleportation magics if you have the right knowledge and enough ether to put it off. And sometimes you might have to pay a bit of, a bit of an upkeep, like leave a little bit of money at the aetheryte kind of deal, just to help upkeep the network, help the scholars keep things ticking along. Good old Charlian. So, the three of you would know. So, knowing that, when you explain to Baderon about aetherites, he starts nodding vigorously. Yep, that sounds about right. So what I want you to do is I want you to go and attune to that big ass aetherite in the middle of the lower decks. And I want you to go do that because that way when you go out on the field, if you need to come back here quickly, you can do that and we can deal with any problems you might have. But it also means as you go further out to places like the Morabee Dry Docks, to Aleport, further out than that, to the other big cities, like to go to Uldar or Gridania, you'll be able to just go there like snap of your fingers, twiggle your nose, click your heels, and you're done. So long as you're attuned to the beat to the aetheryte. Trying to travel to an unattuned aetheryte is inadvisable. Let's just say you might not reappear. To make sure you're always attuned to aetherites, savvy?
Uh-huh.
So with that in mind, go to that big old blue crystal in the middle of the lower decks and go touch it, and get real close to that crystal. So there you go. Baderon has told you to go and maybe make sure you have some kind of return point so you can come back to Limsa real quick if you piss off the wrong people or get hurt.
Yes, we probably will. Both.
Yes.
Definitely.
¿Por qué no los dos? Also, I should check to make sure the others are not gonna see the other y'all. Okay, just a quick thing to the audience. Y'all are fucking talk. Y'all are like, we're gonna use our points to mess with Sophia. And so far, all you've told me to do is hydrate and check my posture and give my players inspiration.
It's session 1. We haven't got to combat yet, so.
Ha! I'm waiting for like Jer or someone to just like spam hydrate at me. Anyway, so Baderon suggests that you kind of walk, take up the crow's lift back up, or down rather, down to lower deck, and go get close and personal with an aetheryte. Do you take him up on his advice, or do you decide to go straight to the Culinarians Guild? Or somewhere else?
I think it's a good idea.
Most likely a good idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're in agreement to attune to the aetheryte first.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, sure.
So,
We'll do the who's it?
the attunement. Yeah.
That thing.
Yes, that thing. So, the three of you make your way through the hustle and bustle of Bulwark Hall. You notice there are 2 Maelstrom soldiers guarding the Admiral's lift to her quarters. And obviously, it would be unwise to try and mess with Maelstrom soldiers on their home turf. But as you walk back out to the Aetheryte Plaza, you hear all sorts of music and hawking, dancing, carousing. No fights are breaking out. At least not around here. Not at the plaza. There are certainly very, very many scantily clad individuals dancing and doing music, and you swear you see a couple kissing behind a tree that's planted in the northeast corner of the plaza.
Sitting on a specific bench.
They're also probably sitting on a specific bench, canoodling. Nick knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Kyle's a dancer. She's seen way worse than this, probably.
Yes, you have. You've been to the quicksand in Ordar.
And Akemi's a soldier, he's used to it.
Yep. But in the middle of the plaza, you do see a towering, huge crystal that is glowing blue with ether. And you can sense like etheric currents, very gentle etheric currents swirling around it. Nothing harmful as you approach it. Like, you don't feel like you're going to get blown off the side into the water or anything crazy like that. Are all of you going to attempt to attune to this Aetheryte?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like you all to give me Arcana checks as you do this. We're just going to see.
Nat 20.
18.
13.
Just waiting on Crayon. Well, the good news is the three of you that have rolled, especially Cherry, the blue mage of the group, this attuning to Aetherites and such is like second nature to you. You're already manipulating ether, especially like monster magics and such. You put your hand to it and you just let your ether flow into the crystal, and in exchange you feel kind of a gentle reverberation, and you feel ether flowing back into you like a bond, like a pact has been sealed, essentially, that you will kind of store in your mind's eye where this Aetheryte is and how to get back here if you ever need to. Akemi and Shikayo, you don't have such a transcendent experience as Cherry is. Like, Cherry is like one with the crystal right now. Also, Cherry, you're probably hearing very faint voice on the ether, and you might recognize the words: hear, feel, think. And you're hearing it a bit clearer than the others because of that lovely nat 20. Shikayo and Akemi, you kind of hear like someone's trying to speak to you, but it's distorted. It's like a radio crackle to the two of you. But you also feel like you've got that kind of imprint in your head that you know where this crystal is now. You also can feel the links to the smaller crystals, the Ethernet crystals, within the city, so that you can just go boom, boom, boom across Limsa without having to run anymore. Normally, you kind of have to attune to them and run across, but between Cherry bonding with this crystal and the two of you doing pretty well, yeah. Crayon, what did you roll for your time with the crystal?
I think Crayon may have gone poof for a second.
Okay.
Huh?
What did you roll for your Arcana check for touching the crystal?
14.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay. You also have the same kind of experience as the others, apart from Jerry. You feel like you have that knowledge of where the crystal is now, but you hear the kind of radio crackle of someone trying to talk to you, but you're not getting through. But thanks to all of you kind of connecting pretty well, this is kind of easy because it's a city Aetheryte. Everyone does it all the time. It's a major thoroughfare. You don't need to worry about like zipping around the city and touching all the little crystals that let you zip around the city nice and easy. So, with that in mind, when you reach out to the main Aetheryte, you sense that there is a connection in the general direction of the Culinarians Guild. So, are all of you going to use the Ethernet? Are you gonna surf the ether to get to the Culinarians Guild quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep. That'd probably be safer than having to deal with the yellow coats again
Yep.
when they inevitably return because they can't find their shoes without messing up, apparently.
So, all four of you, as you're attuned, just blink out of existence for a second. You feel yourself travelling along the life stream. It's a very, very short journey because the Ethernet, and you just feel this beacon pinging out saying, "Hey, this is your stop," and you all blink back into existence at the Bismarck, aka the poshest restaurant in Limsa, aka the Culinarians Guild. So, some of you want to study stuff here, some of you want to get drunk, and yeah, so who's doing what?
Kemi wants to, like, register with them, I guess.
To what with them?
Register.
Register. Okay. Sure. So you wander in. And excuse me. You can smell all the different kinds of food being created here. All the way from like the most basic kind of dishes, you know, cooking fish and, you know, the other native animals of Lanosha and the sea. But also some of the culinarians there are making very complex technical dishes that at your current kind of level of practice you think you could try but you couldn't emulate just yet. And you see Rogadin with kind of bluish skin, with his hands behind his back, and is very clearly in a beautifully clean white pressed chef's outfit, including the hat, overseeing the guild and making sure that food is getting cooked and everything is coordinated and getting sent out to the right tables, and yelling for waiters to take it out to the patio or the balcony where there are patrons dining. So Yeah, you can probably guess that this is the Culinarian Guildmaster, though you don't know his name yet. So, do you want to approach him, Kemi?
Yeah, they approach and kind of clear their throat, go, "Hi, I was hoping to register with the guild here."
Oh! Ah. And he, do you have your frying pan on your hip or anything?
It's hanging off their bag.
Excellent. He looks around. Ah, you've already got your first skillet. You're, already experienced, I take it?
Cook for the army.
Ah, gotcha. Well, military cooking ain't what we do here, but it's always helpful to have a grounding in the basic arts of it. We could teach you to refine your palate and your skills here, my dear. What do they call you?
I'm a Kami.
My name is Master Lingsath. That's Lynngsath. For anyone taking notes. And I am the head chef here at the Bismarck, and we do indeed sell and serve some of our finest patrons here at Limsa. Before, as they come as tourists, whether they come as traders and merchants, or as dignitaries. We've even had the Admiral grace us with her presence on occasion, and she trusts us to fulfill her needs for her famous feasts and such. So, if you're going to join up with my guild here, I need to know: are you able to withstand the heat of the fire, my friend?
They give a little smirk and just kind of nod.
Good. Tell you what. I might have a bit of a job for you in a minute, and it seems like you've got a bit of an entourage with you. So, let's see what you. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Go on.
Can Cherry cast message to Akemi and say, ask him if you get a discount on the food.
Akemi kind of snorts and glances back at Cherry before looking back at Master. My friend wants to know if me being a member gets them a discount.
A little bit, yes. However, you have to work for it, and that's what I was going to assign you. It seems like your friends here are a bit hungry, and it looks in Shikayo's general direction. Maybe also in need of other libations. So here's what we'll do. I'll open the larder and the pantry open up to you, and you can make him something as part of your training free of charge, and I'll provide the drinks. Consider it part of your training, and but obviously you have to, if things get messy as such, you'll be answering to me, and we'll go for it as part of your training. So try not to poison your friends, yeah?
I think I can manage that much.
All right. So Lingsath looks at the three others like, wait, the three of you can go sit at a table out on the balcony there and wait for Akemi here to bring you your food. So off you trot.
Cherry's gonna go out and sit.
Same.
Yep. All right. I'm assuming Crayon's doing the same. Okay. All right, Kemi. It's time to earn your stripes. I want you to give me 3 successive culinarian checks. All single dice, single d20. One to represent each course. Remember, you're at +1 because of your pan.
You sit on a single die?
Yeah. No advantage or anything. Unless someone deigns to give you inspiration, which we'll see. I'm watching the chat, just in case.
Alright, so I got a 9, a 12, and a 20.
A dirty 20 or a nat 20?
Dirty 20.
Okay. So, the starter, you are trying to make a basic salad with dressing for them. And unfortunately, your knife skills are a bit rusty. The knives themselves are not, but you are. We're being ordered to hydrate. Everybody, hydrate!
I ain't got shit to drink.
Group mom will be very angry at you. Excuse me. Okay. So the leaves come out kind of roughly cut and they don't look very presentable. The tomatoes are a splattered mess. And you forgot to put the almonds on top of the damn thing. Lingsaf looks at it as you send it out for service, and he's gonna let it slide because you're cooking for your friends. But he tisks and shakes his head. Maybe you'll do better cooking them some fish, some baked trout. So you then start. You get 3 freshly caught trout. You cut little slits into them. Season them properly. And you manage to create a pretty standard tasting concoction from what from tasting the dish as you go. And you think it'll pass for standard adventure affair. Lingsaf looks at that and is like, not bad. Not quite up to our standards, and I wouldn't serve it to one of my highest dignitaries. But it is, at least, more edible than the salad. Then you come to dessert, and you get a bunch of maple sugar from the pantry. And you do something so simple and yet so artistic that you essentially make little sugar sculptures by turning this maple sugar into like a maple candy and drizzling all over like molds and cones and such. I'm scared because we have an actual like former chef in the chat and I don't want to. I'm screwing this up terribly. But essentially you make kind of like sugar sculptures for everyone, and Lingsaf at that is like kind of folds his arms and nods in approval. Now that, on the other hand, that I would definitely serve to a diplomat. or some such. That's fantastic. Not perfect. You need to watch. You were a little bit rushed there with the tempering that sugar. It nearly went over, but I dare say that you would get some pretty high praise for that. Have you ever considered going into confectionery instead of regular old ration cooking?
Not exactly something I'm fond of.
Fair. Keep it in mind though. Keep in, or maybe the more dessert line of things, patisserie as well, for example. As you serve, and the rest of you, as you get served these meals, the salad you've had better, for sure. And you're starting. Some of you can think what you want, but there's this undercurrent of, oh god, this is our party's cook. We're all fucked. To start with. Then the fish comes out, and it's actually it's pretty good. Not bad. But where Akemi really kicks ass is that dessert. And you can tell it's very high quality. It's almost like Akemi got pissed off with the comments they were getting, and then just kind of blew it out the park. And that spun maple sugar just hits the right spot going down. So all of you, including Akemi, should make a note of the following. On the next saving throw of any kind you have to do, you get a single +2 boost to it. Because you are reasonably well fed. If Akemi had done even better, I'd have maybe considered giving you all inspiration or something, but we'll give you a +2 on a saving throw.
I've got to run real quick. My dog's going nuts.
Okay. Not a problem. And that also fulfills the side objective of Cherry getting... I was going to say getting filled. Fueled by food. So, while you're all sitting down and having the meal, I'll let you, the rest of them... Akemi's still in the kitchen helping clean up and stuff, but the three of you are still at the table, and you can talk about whatever you like for a little while. What are your next steps? Stuff like that.
Well, we're in the Adventurers Guild now. Exciting.
What is that even supposed to do for us?
Basically means we're not gonna get arrested for adventuring, from what I understand.
I suppose that's important.
I personally prefer not to be arrested, so...
So what do we do from here?
Well...
I thought we were going to get work from the bartender, and then we all came here instead of getting work, so I'm just kind of lost on that one.
Unless we got food-ish.
I mean, you can't work on an empty stomach. Suppose when we're done, we could head back and see if there's any jobs.
Yeah. I had a job board thing, I think.
Mm.
We can check that.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me.
actually do, though.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back as well. Emergency. keep on chatting. Think about what Baderon said. Maybe go find some quest givers.
Asking the antisocial one to chat.
Yep.
He's just looking around like, ugh, people.
I'm still waiting on that booze.
I think you have enough booze in you to last until you get another drink.
Korean's just also kind of wondering, how do you fuck up a salad?
Yeah.
You put a head of lettuce in a bowl and call it a salad. That
Didn't even have the almonds, like.
At least if you put a head of lettuce in the bowl, it's edible.
I've had worse.
Have you ever taken a bite out of a lettuce like an apple?
When you're hungry enough, you do a
Yes.
lot of things.
Yeah. Good to know I'm not alone.
So, as you are all chatting about Akemi's failure with the salad and focusing on... I just set my car alarm off. Excuse me a second. God, I love it when that happens. You sit down, your keys get caught, and you hit your alarm button. Fun times. Anyway, you hear talk just through passive perception. You know that there seems to be a bit of a critter problem outside the front gates of the, let's say, the Zephyr Gate into Limsa Lominsa. Just general vermin, you know, they're kind of getting out of control, and some of the merchants and pirate nobility are kind of getting pissy that they're having to deal with squirrels and ladybugs and shite biting at them or defiling their goods, you know.
That sounds like a job. Not a great job, but it's a job.
Hey, it's work. You reckon if you put 2 and 2 together, if you went and spoke to Baderon about maybe taking on one of these jobs, you would maybe have a bit of the old work to do. And, you know, remember a couple of you have other leads that you could, well, at least one of you has another lead in Limsa you could follow while you're here. So yeah, in your opinion, you've got 2 options. You could either follow Shikayo's lead with a guy in Troop Falcium, or you could go vermin killing outside the Zephyr Gate. Or both.
Both sounds good.
You can do them whichever of you go. You can investigate whatever you like. Or of course you can go. You can just get drunk and be rowdy if you like. I'll quite happily send some yellow jackets after you and put you in the brig for a spell. Good choice.
I don't think anybody really wants to get arrested.
I mean,
Not my kink.
we don't kink shame here. Just don't get your bits and pieces out, because that's a Twitch violation. You can talk about it all you want, but don't actually do it. This is an 18+ stream after all. Yeah. So you have those options. Up to you, which you pursue. There's other things you could do in Limsa as well. It is a city, so you all had starting gil. If you want to spend any, you can. If not, you can always go back to Baderon and talk about some of the leads you got and see what they turn up. Also, at this point, Shikaio is probably sober to the point of getting dangerously close to hangover territory from having lack of alcohol in blood. just so you know.
Yeah, they're probably used to it. They probably know some way of dealing with it.
Cherry and Crayon, you see Shikaio kind of at the dinner table, just kind of like, oh my freaking head.
You gonna live?
Happens every so often.
Cherry, you look like you just like, this is your just desserts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Eh. People tell me I have a drinking problem. It's only a problem when I run out.
Spoken like a true alcoholic.
And there is a goblin eating cheese.
Hey, in my defense, I'm hungry all the
Fair.
time.
Okay. So right now the general plan is we go back to Baderon and follow up on a couple leads. So the others have not made a formal decision as to what they want to do. So
It was either that or fight rats outside the city or something.
Okay. Kemi's still cleaning in the kitchen. But they come back, and they come back with a bottle of wine that they immediately shove into his hands.
that solves Shikaio's alcohol problem. That's what we just. That's what.
More drunk. That'll help.
That's what.
Immediately pops the cork. Starts drinking.
That's
Get
what we.
them more drunk. That'll help.
That's what we need for Shikaio right now. We need like an alcohol meter, and if Shikaio runs down, we'll start suffering skill penalties.
And suddenly it's the drunken master.
Yeah. Drunken master dancing. Shame you're not a monk. Yeah.
That's actually a thing.
I know. But yeah, so are you heading back to Baderon and checking on the leads that you've heard and been told about?
I fucking hate rats.
probably the best.
Yeah.
So you zip back on the Ethernet to the drowned wench, and you go up to good old Baderon Tenfingers. So now you're back. Did you have a good lunch, dinner? What time is it even? I don't know.
It went alright, I guess.
The three of you, the three of you who were subjected to a Kemi's cookie may have something to say about that. Press X to doubt.
It was edible.
Chica's had way worse than that before.
I don't usually get greens to work with. It's usually just meat and potatoes.
Well, then let's hope they're not green.
Baderon holds up a finger as if and starts doing that kind of thing as if there's a joke there. But Shikyle very quickly says something else, and the moment for making that joke is lost. So, what can I do you for?
Work.
Work?
Jobs.
Jobs. Well,
Uh,
go on, Cherry.
yeah, heard there's a rat problem.
Ain't just rats. It's rats, it's squirrels, it's bugs. They're even sheep. Sheep! For crying out loud. How the hell did we get a bunch of freaking sheep walking around the Zephyr Gate? I don't know. Point stands, they're causing havoc for the merchants and such who are trying to go out on the land routes, and they could probably use a bit of thinning out. No one's going to take offence if we do a bit of culling, aye?
Shikael turns to Akemi. You ever worked with mutton before?
Once or twice. I wouldn't mind it again. It's pretty good.
Honestly, you might not be dealing with mutton, you're dealing with lamb. Yeah. So, yeah, on the one hand, you could help with that little vermin problem we got outside the Zephyr Gate. On the flip side, and he's looking at Shikyle, you could go and talk to the head of Troop Falsium about, their problem with the Dance of Death. The Kriegs... Yeah, the Kriegsdance, I think it is. No. Totentanz. Yeah, Totentanz. I should know my German. I also have done that storyline, so I should really know. The Totentanz. You didn't hear that from me, by the way. Just it was on the wind, one of my G keys. Fuck you! I hit too many G keys. Somehow, I'm a professional. Damn it. Okay, we're back. I didn't kill the stream or anything. Don't worry. Anyway, the problem is my G keys. I don't have an actual stream deck. I have stream keys on the left hand side of my keyboard. So I didn't have to buy a stream deck. I just have 6 buttons I can use. There are Elgato things. But anyway, so those are the two main jobs I've got for you right now. Either the vermin, or you can maybe investigate what's going on with the Totentanz with Troop Falsium. Up to you.
The vermin might be quicker at this point.
I think you're right. Plus a little bit of extra meat for later on wouldn't be a bad thing.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Alright then. I will let the Yellow Jackets know that you are coming to give them a hand. And
Let's hope it's not those 3 from earlier.
Nah, these are ones that I know a bit more personally. They won't give you any shite. But I'd suggest getting geared up and prepare to head out to the Zephyr Gate when you got a moment, and then go cull some vermin. Savvy?
I think.
Yeah, sounds well.
Hey, that should work.
And with that, I think that is probably an excellent point to stop session 1 before you all go and start slaughtering things needlessly. Well, I say needlessly. In session 2.
Yeah, we were given a job to do so.
Yeah. So you will have time to take care of that. You'll spend some time getting your gear ready to go out and kill some vermin. So one of the good things about this game system is that between games, I'm going to let you do fun things, like 1 or 2 fun things, whether it's related to crafts or talking to people you've met on your travels, doing jobs for them, things like that. Kind of between game stuff that we kind of resolve in the next game. So if any of y'all want to craft something or investigate something or what have you, any of these leads, things like that, you can shoot me a DM on Discord and I will make it happen. But for now, let's sign off. Let's do it in... let's do it in reverse order on my screen. So, Ink, we'll start with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying goodbye.
Oh. Bye.
That's Ink. And, yeah. They play...
Night, John boy.
Goodbye. Yeah. Duality, you got anything you want to say before you sign off?
Not really. Just, you mentioned a drunk meter. Now I'm wondering, how would that work?
I will think of something. I have a limit break meter. I will think of a drunk meter for you. Don't you fret. We will
check the dipstick.
Yeah, check.
Great. I have to be completely balanced to be close to functioning.
Yeah. Pure. Anything you want to say?
Bye.
And Jerry, Link.
It's been super fun. Excited for next time.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. You can call me Heidelin. You can call me All Made One. You can call me Universe Mummy. That's what the others are now calling me. I kind of brought that one on myself. I blame Cedar and Artemis for that, honestly. So signing out stuff. Don't forget to go check out CanadianDice.ca. The Vactaire gets you 10% off. 10 or 15, 10%, whatever. But Ryan's Dice are... You're a liar, Artemis. You're a liar. You're a liar and a cad. Liar and a cad and a bounder. You are not innocent. Our Discord is also in the chat if you want to come hang out with us. We're a relatively chill bunch most of the time. Crazy as well on occasion. Black Girl, White Coat. Still running, let's say, it's about $44 left on that campaign till we reach our target. So let's get more people of colour in medicine, folks, because fucking hell, it's a whitewash. I'm trying to think of anything else. I can't raid because I do not have the power. But I know someone who does have the power. Artemis, send us somewhere. Send us somewhere who needs the viewers. You have the power, I think. If not, Affy does. And if Affy's not here, then we'll just call it cock. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess we can't raid anyone tonight. We're gonna have to fix that. Also, by the way, did you all know that they're gonna probably buy card packs and everything else to mess with me the way I mess with them? So if y'all start getting things like action surges and shit, or someone summons zombies on my behalf for you, you're fucked if that happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we'll figure out everything next time. I fucked up some technical stuff, but for now, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from them, and we'll see you all same time, same channel, same ragtag bunch of adventurers. Good night.